Hey guys, it's that time again, another car video. I'm waiting to go see a client right now. I just wanted to kind of pop in and talk briefly about a quick energy update. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome back if you have. My intention is unity and oneness, the highest levels of love, light. This is going to be a short one. Cheers. So what are some underlying themes? Many light workers and star seeds are, what is a light worker? What is a star seed? I just did a video on what is a star seed. We're all star seeds. We all have our star, which is the sun. A light worker, from my perspective, is someone that makes the conscious choice to share their light. It's that simple. Sometimes we overcomplicate things, and this is a common theme that's been coming up for me in session, which I might do a video specifically about, but there's a ripple of excitement going through this light worker community, those that are consciously choosing to share their light with others or just to be a light on this earth. And it's the solstice, it's the planetary alignments, it's the end of 2020, moving into a new year of 2021. For many of us, this year has brought so many blessings, but also a lot of turmoil and, not so many blessings. For many people have gone through the dark night of the soul this year. Many people have found themselves questioning, well, what am I supposed to be doing? So on and so forth. And this is an ongoing process for some. Some people, that's where they're at. And that's great. All of it is honored. There's a ripple of fear, though, that's also underlying. I forget about it until I go into a grocery store. I work with clients that are aware and shining their light and expansive. And I work with others that are not. They are in a place of fear and troubled and so on and so forth. And from my perspective, I offer a safe space for them to feel like they can expand. That would be the simplest way for me to say, what is it that I do? So what happens is everybody is in a different stage. Everybody has chosen to be in a particular part of the dream, so to speak. For some people, it's a constant nightmare. And this ripple of fear of the unknown, of not being sure what's going to happen, there are people who are not able to see their families this holiday season. There are people that haven't been able to see their families. There are people that are waiting for something, I'm not going to name it, to come save them, someone to save them, whether it be a person, whether it be a drug, I'll just call it that, whether it be that's what they're waiting for. And all hope is around this particular thing. And that's another end of the spectrum. And so I'm seeing this ripple of it kind of building up like a tsunami. As light workers, what I'm seeing, though, is we're countering that, and it's building, and many of us are helping to integrate that wave of fear, that wave of energy. And what happens is that builds up, and we absorb that fear, and that wave then builds with that, and this beautiful explosion of light. That's what I'm seeing. So does not mean we don't feel the fear. And it doesn't mean that we aren't at times sad and depressed. That's part of being human. So again, being patient with ourselves. It is a lot of tumultuous activity going on. But when we take these moments to find peace within, to experience ceremony, to connect with the earth, do a fire ceremony. Get in the tub. I talk about this all the time. Put your crystals in there. Connect with earth. All of these things that we do to use our imagination, my guides are constantly telling me, or my higher self, this will keep us embodied and not in our heads. And also when we get into our bodies, it allows us to recognize, and I always ask the question that my dear friend Kat told me years ago, who does this belong to? And I use it all the time. Who is this? Is this mine? I'm not going to own that. Or maybe it is mine, but I don't need it anymore. So integrate, clear, remove, dissolve. What do I need to do? What action do I need to take or non-action in this moment? But by me making that decision, it is taking action. Maybe my decision is I need to go take an Epsom salt bath or go for a walk. Clear my head. That's taking action. Many of us think we have to take action. It means we have to go out and save the world, or we have to do some huge action deed for it to make a difference. And that's not true. So, keeping it simple. Focus on us, especially right now. This will help us to ripple out, because if we're in a place of fear and we're worried about what the future holds, this ripples out into the collective as well. But more importantly, it ripples out into our bodies, and it tells our bodies that something's wrong. And we go into that fight or flight response, and it becomes an unhealthy relationship. I could take this into unhealthy relationships as well, but it's a reflection of what's going on with us. Also, isolation. That's back. Many people, I mean, everybody I talk with, every time someone has a session with me, that's a conversation. So I always say you're not alone. A lot of people feel this way. And it really does take us, we have to reach out. And sometimes that's challenging, because when you feel isolated, when you feel like you can't because of what's going on the world stage, or some people still feel like they can't because they don't know others like them. And I'll share, it can be a very lonely journey at times. But there are a lot of people out there like you. Yes, we're all unique butterflies. We're all on our own individual journey, but there are millions of us. So when that happens, I have people, again, self-care, connect with a friend. Even though that friend may not be on the same level, and I don't mean that in a hierarchy as you, at least you are having a conversation, which can then lead to aha moments and bliss for yourself. Obviously, if that other person's in fear all the time, that's another story. But what I'm saying is, if you've got a dear friend who just makes you feel good, but you can't necessarily talk about your alien heritage, it's okay. Talk to your dear friend. Not everybody has to get us in the same exact way that we would like others to understand us. I have friends that really enjoy things that I have to share with them until I start speaking in light language. Or as soon as I say that, there's a little Arcturian coming in, they're like, oh, okay, Carrie, you just got weird. So there's always those limitations. There's always those boundaries, and we are honoring their boundaries. We're honoring where they're at, and we're meeting them there and offering space. We don't have to butt heads, kind of like the fear and the excitement of what's going on. We can integrate it. We don't have to say, well, don't be afraid. That is not our responsibility to take away somebody else's fear, because that might be part of their journey. They may need to experience this fear in order for them to feel what it's like to not be fearful, so they can know the difference. Now, by us vibrating, and so coming back to this, social media. I'm not a huge social media person. I'm on social media because I'm sharing my experiences I was guided to, but that was hard for me. Still is challenging for me. But I have found some of my dearest friends that do get me on Instagram. Candace, Megan, Liz, Saskia, Kate, Jess, so many, just through Instagram. I've never met them. in person, but I meet them in the astral. I meet them in dream time. So this is something that I invite you guys to explore, especially if you're old school. I'm old school. Candace keeps telling me, you got to get on Facebook. And I'm like, I'm on Facebook, but I don't really go on there. I post from Instagram. Anyways, make a long story short, you get where I'm going with this. Had I have not ventured out and actually joined groups, I haven't really joined groups on Facebook, but my friend, basically I was invited into this group, and somebody else did all the work for me. So thank you, ladies. But that's opened my heart. It's been able to give me an opportunity to connect with other people who are talking about what I'm talking about. So find them, but you have to look first. And I'm a hermit naturally by however I am. It's hard for me sometimes to reach out and put my feelers out there. But on the flip side, that's part of why I'm here. So it's that, again, balancing, right? Integrating, finding that common theme. It could be as simple as you setting something up in your backyard. And it could be a friend of a friend that you know who's into this stuff, whatever that stuff is. Tarot cards, singing bowls. Maybe you're just really into herbs. Maybe it's cooking. Put together a barbecue where you have 5 people, or you Zoom party. You have to get creative right now. And that's the last message I'm going to share. In all of my sessions lately, an underlying theme is lack of creativity because people feel stagnant and isolated. It's not just you. I'm having these conversations all of the time with people. And I tell them in session, it's not just you. So I go through it too. I've gone through it. I have moments. So I'm sharing this with you guys because right now it's okay to be a hermit. It's okay to be isolated. But if you're at that point where it's really feeling a little depressing, you have to change it. And the only way you can change it is by trying something different, because what you're doing right now isn't working. So try something a little different. And then if that doesn't work, reach out. Get a counseling session, have a QHT session, do an energy healing session, do an intuitive counseling session, do an astrology report, and then see who that person connects with on social media. And then you can see the branches of the tree and see how many branches there are and start connecting with those people, start chatting with those people. See what they have to say. Maybe they're interested in what you have to say. It creates it creates a combination. It creates a community. It creates a feeling of expansiveness, because that then sparks the creativity. It's connected, right? So I'm going to end on that note. That was just a very basic energy update. And a lot more to share. That was the Keep It Simple Starseeds version, but sending you guys a lot of love and appreciation, because it's your guys' your guys' energy. It's you connecting with me that keeps me making these videos. And I have gone through a lot over the last year since I started making these videos. Well, maybe it's been closer to 2 years now. But as I've gone through this process, the creativity has opened for me because I've reached out. So thank you. And love and light, guys. Make your own videos. You don't have to post them. I just told somebody else this too. Record your stuff. You don't have to share it. Just get the juices flowing, so to speak. In love and light, guys. Namaste.